Hi. I've had a couple of things run through my head in the past few weeks. A lot of it is political. It puts a lot of fear in you. And I get very afraid, not for myself, for Nathaniel. As most of you know, we're in Canada. We're in Ontario. We're about an hour away from the American border. And the biggest threat that has come out of political states is that they want to annex Canada. And when you think about an annexing, that's to do with military, that's to do with takeover. We're close to the border. And what is there to stop the government, our own government, our military, from trying to conscript, draft people like Nathaniel? Ran through my head for a few days, and then I shook my head and realized I have the paperwork. I've got the doctor. I've got the lawyer. I'm his power of attorney. There's nothing that is saying that he would be able to do any military. Then I started wondering where that came from. And it hit me that my mother told me a story about her older brother back during the Second World War. So Mom was born in 1930, and at that point her brother was 10 years older than she. So by 1944, during the Second World War, they had come down to conscription here in Canada. Uncle Charlie would have been 24. The biggest problem is that Uncle Charlie had a mental disability challenge. And with that challenge came even more challenge for the family because there was no actual diagnosis. There was no lawyer. There was no doctor's note. There was no paperwork behind it. There was no power of attorney. It just was. So they had to prove to the government, to the military, to whoever showed up at their door that he wasn't faking it. They had to prove that he would not be capable of doing any military duty. That happened. They were able to, and so Charlie didn't go. But unfortunately, about a year later, he died from a disease, which is a whole other rabbit hole to go down, because it looks like he may have had lupus. Yes, I do family genealogy, and so much in a death certificate, so much said. Anyways, I digress. So the fear of any kind of draft, conscripting, was very strong in me. I know that now he wouldn't be possible to go into the military because of all the information there. But it wasn't possible back then. So how do you prove? How did they prove that he was incapable? Because my understanding is that Uncle Charlie was still high enough functioning that he didn't really go to school, but he was capable of a part-time job. What that job was, I don't know. There's no one alive now who could tell any other information on that. I do have to go digging, but only the 1931 census has been released, so there's ways to go before I can get to a 1941 census, even to find out where he was, what he was doing. He was at home, and my mother would have been 14 at the time he was conscripted. She was 15 when he passed away. But it just brought everything back into perspective. How are we taking care of those who do have that disability, if it ever came down to a military anything in this country. So give me some understanding, give me some comments, give me some perspectives on things, write them in the comments, and give it a like and subscribe. Let's see where this can take us. All right? Thank you and take care.